I I wanted to talk about a connection that I made um, uh, uh, of ideas, and that's to do with paying your respect. You know how people talk about paying the paying of respect, and the idea connection was you're actually paying, acknowledgement of your details of your shared aspects when you're paying respect. When you, like, for instance, go for go sorry for example, go to somebody's funeral. um, you're paying your respects means that you are acknowledging the aspects that connect to that person who has passed. And so um, paying your respects means paying um, paying acknowledgement to the details that link you with other people, with somebody who's passed, or some uh, organization, like maybe um, you work at a place, and they have they close down, then they have a closing down party or something like that. Paying your respect would be going to that closing down party and acknowledging that in some way this organization, um, uh, in some way it helped you. It's maybe help you isn't the right way to put it, but in some way there was something made you work at this organization. You know what I mean? Like there were shared aspects, there were shared details, there were respects. So pay your respects means to acknowledge that you aren't just at a place for no reason. You aren't just in a relationship for no reason. You haven't you weren't just somebody's child for no reason. Instead, when you pay your respects, you're acknowledging that there has to be a reason, even if it's um, even if it's not as obvious as some would think. There's always a reason. There's always a reason for why you're somebody's son or daughter. There's always a reason for why you chose this line of work over all the others. There's always a reason why you're doing what you're doing. Maybe it's getting, maybe I'm getting a little bit spiritual talking about this, but um, you know, um, we all have, you know, uh, we all have a narrow end. We're all leaning, not leaning. We're all moving towards an arrow's head. Um, and that's what death is, right? We all die. Nobody's you know um, nobody's figured out how to create immortality. So we all die, and that's the arrowhead that we're all heading towards. You know, and straight is the gate, and narrow is the way. The way, it's already been chosen for each and every single living organism. So that's you and me. We have the same way. People have the same way. We can all come together at that point and agree. We all if there's a mass grave and everybody ends up in it, we all end up in it. So there's some common there's some common link we share. Link? There's something common between us. That's what I'm trying to say. But back to the the point of this video. Paying respects is just acknowledging that you have things in common with other people. And when you don't pay your respects, when you don't acknowledge that, then that's when you're paying disrespects, so to speak. That's when disrespect becomes an issue. We can all sing Kumbaya and talk from sun up to sundown about love and compassion and all that, but if you don't pay your respects, then love and compassion, they die away too. They fade away whilst you're still alive, and you feel pretty empty afterward. So pay your respects. Respect brings structure, and when you admit that, hey, you are not so detached from others as you like to ideate that you are. We all live in fantasy castles in the clouds up in our heads, but reality is down to earth, on the ground, at level, and it's good to pay your respects and to acknowledge. Oh, my cat's one of my cats is jumping up on the shelves at the back there in the washing room. But anyway, yeah, I wanted to talk about respect, because I think that if there's anything we can learn from this whole COVID-19 scare, and that and how it's made people react. I mean, you can see the truth when people say that the whole world's uniting to fight a common battle, in a sense. Though I don't really see it that way. I think that the whole world has found a has basically taken advantage of the fact that there's so much interconnectedness with the internet, and that it's moved, it's made more people act in unison than would otherwise be the case if you didn't have the internet. But anyway, yeah, like, this is a time to learn that, to pay it forward, in a sense, to respect, and to have the fair expectation of respect. There are things that we share in common, like, even if you're a man or you're a woman, you share things in common. You got to admit that. Even if you are talking to a man whose character you find horrid, like, or a woman whose character you find appalling in certain details, right? Of affectation. Just recognize, be honest, that you share common traits. You share common feelings and thoughts. Maybe you evaluate them differently and classify them differently, but that you share, there is a common link between all living beings, even if it's just the fact that they're alive. But anyway, life is really just survival right now. For all we know in our knowledge context, we don't know if we transcend this existence. Hopefully, we do, and it's a better place, and you can be like Odysseus and returning to Ithaca, that's, and that could be your, maybe there's a heaven like that, here's hoping. But, if there isn't, it doesn't matter. You should still respect other people. We should all respect one another and pay our respects, because it's something you pay everybody is, has got a lot of respect in them, in their account of respect. And I think that, maybe social media culture with like Tinder and like, you know, um, all these profile, sites and apps, I think they make, people hoard their respect and like not want to admit this, that they have something in common with, maybe it's, some schmuck who goes barefoot in the local supermarket or something. I see some people do that, and I got to be honest, it rubs me the wrong way. But at the same time, I'm sure there are things that I share in common with those people, and I'm sure there are things that I do that rub them the wrong way. But anyway, yeah, this video has been about paying respect. Um, you know, Paying respect means acknowledging that you have similarities, and that you can't be, as judgmental as you like to be, because that's not fair. Anyway, if you like the message of this video, give it a like, share, comment, tell me if you agree, with what I was saying. And have a good day. Peace. Meow.